Vinoo Varghese is a Wall Street criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. He joins us now from New York. Thanks so much for taking time with us this evening. So as someone with perspective as both a defense attorney and a prosecutor, which side is going into this trial with a stronger case?
Well, it seems that the momentum is geared towards Dominion in light of the revelations that have come out. I mean, these are pretty amazing details, revelations, admissions by Tucker Carlson and others at Fox News that they knew that this was a false claim by then President Trump that the election was rigged, that somehow Dominion's machines were helping Joe Biden to win. I'm not even sure what exactly they were saying, but it sounds like they're really in trouble, at least on the surface. The problem is that the standard for defamation is extremely high, and they have to demonstrate actual malice. The Fox News counter to that is that, this is protected speech, that it's First Amendment speech. And there are those that have argued that Fox should win. So it's already been established, and the judge has said that the case against Dominion's case against Fox is that Fox made false statements. So therefore, it really comes down to how much money Dominion is going to get.
And given all the evidence that is out there, how unique of a trial would you say this is? Do you think we will see it setting precedents?
There is a potentially dangerous precedent depending on which side you take in terms of the case of defamation. So there was a case of New York Times versus Sullivan, which dealt with the fact that the New York Times in the 60s had ran a full-page ad saying that Martin Luther King was treated unfairly by Alabama officials, and they were sued. The New York Times was sued, and ultimately the United States Supreme Court ruled in favor of the New York Times and said that in order to prevail, they would have to show, in that case, the county officials in Alabama would have to show that there was actual malice on the part of the Times and that created this high burden. There are at least 2 U.S. Supreme Court justices that have said that that decision should be revisited. So while this is a state case and it's being held in state court in Delaware, the issues really deal with First Amendment issues could ultimately reach the Supreme Court, where the question of whether somebody has to show actual malice could be revisited by this court, by the United States Supreme Court. So it's your question about precedents? Possibly. The question is which way, we don't know.
And overall, whose testimony do you think could be the most consequential in this upcoming trial?
Well, the issue, Rupert Murdoch. I mean, the owner, the head of Fox News, came out, that Fox News had said he wasn't an agent wasn't involved in Fox News, and then just right before the trial, it turned out that he is or was, and so the judge has talked about sanctioning the lawyers for Fox News, saying they've deliberately misled him. That's obviously not a good way to start a trial for Fox News, being sanctioned or having the lawyers sanctioned. But now it looks like Rupert Murdoch will have to testify, and it looks like others like Tucker Carlson, Maria Bartiromo, and others may have testified. So this is going to be a fun trial to watch if you're a trial watcher. And I think that the impact of this case, if it goes all the way to trial, could be felt for potentially generations.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I know myself, and I think a lot of us would definitely be interested in watching minute by minute if the trial was televised. Unfortunately, we're going to have to watch via reports at the end of the day, but this is certainly going to be one to keep an eye on. Criminal defense attorney Vinoo Varghese, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for your perspective.
My pleasure.